we are going to do this. We drew lots before going online, and we will have an order. And the order, starting from this order, we will rotate. And so you will find out, because the candidates know. They will have 7 minutes to present themselves and to explain why they want to run for FIDE president or whatever else they want to tell you. It's going to be 7 minutes. And after that, it's going to be questions from the hosts, a bit of questions from themselves. And it's probably going to be livelier as soon as the public also wants to ask a few questions. If there are interesting questions, we might pick them on board and share them with our 3 guests tonight. And I think I will leave it now to Maria, and she will introduce you the first questions to our candidates.
Good evening, everyone. We are happy to see you here today. And I would like to remind you that for each question, you will have 2 minutes to answer. And our first question is going to be, in your opinion, what is the best achievement of the current administration and its worst failure?
No, first the 7 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Please introduce yourself, and you're going to have like 7 minutes each of you for this, and then we're going to get to the questions.
Okay, so may I start?
Sure.
So good evening, everybody. Good afternoon for some of you. Good night for some of you in other part of the world. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Arkady. Thank you, Andrii, for being there tonight. It's a pleasure. I would like first to introduce a bit myself, who I am, from where I come, because there is a young generation who might not know. There is another generation who know me. So my name is Bachar Kouatly. As you can see, my name is from Syrian origin. I was born in Syria. My father is Syrian, peace to his soul. And my mother is French, and I celebrated her 83rd birthday a few days ago. She was born on the 14th of July. So I have always spoken French and Arabic. That's why I can speak both languages. I try to manage in English, which is not easy, and a little bit in Italian and in Spanish. And Yuri knows about this because we have spoken several times. So that's to a little bit introduce who I am, from where I come. I stayed in the Middle East, but going regularly to France until the age of 17. And I left France at the age of 17, Lebanon at the age of 17 because of the civil war. And I graduated, I finished my studies in France. And that's how my life went on, because life is always something that you don't predict. It's always coming with events you're trying to cope with and trying to live with. And so I finished my studies, thanks to my parents, who didn't push me on chess only. I graduated in political science and energy economics. And I have done a career, professional career, which was also in investment, which allowed me always to be quite independent financially, not to rely on the chess world. And then to say a few words also about a professional career, I bought a magazine which is called Europe Échec in '97, because it's important to be transparent and to give the information to all of you. And I'm not running that anymore, although I'm still the owner, and I'm very careful about the conflict of interest. I was attacked 3.5 years ago in France in an article, and I made that public at the council, which was not council at that time, of FIDE, and I spoke about this. And to be very clear, I am not sued, because some people are just spreading incredible rumors, and I just wanted to close this chapter from now. So as a chess player, I started in '72 after the match Spassky-Fischer, in fact 73, and I am, let's say, a child of that match. So this is regarding, let's say, my professional career, chess a little bit. And I became a grandmaster in '89, and I have always had the two lives, professional life and the chess life. Now let's come back immediately to FIDE. So we will try to do it in 4 minutes, Yuri. So FIDE, what is FIDE's main goal? It's simple and it should not be forgotten. It's to increase the participation of people who play chess in the world, with all ages, genders, the playing habits, over the board, online, classical, rapid, and also the physical abilities with inclusion that has to be done. This is the main target of FIDE. This is first thing. How do you do that? You need a governance. And we have to think out of the box, as we said a few years ago. And this is should have been done. And so we need innovation and flexibility even in the governance. And I'm not sure that we have done that the last 4 years totally, but I'm also partly responsible because I am part of it. Also the education. Education is very, very important. Without education, we will go nowhere. So what means education? It means you need boards. And we hope that if we are elected, we can try to have the target of 1 million boards that will be distributed over the 4 years. Also, we understand there are logistic and other things to be settled, but we will try to work on this. And then detection, and then we will coaching, and then create national champions in the countries because it's role models for them. We need to make partnership to also give the federation the possibility to be helped in management, in administration. The International Table Tennis Federation is doing that, and the people can connect with that. We need to have coach exchanges. We need to have a platform of federation success. That's what we did with the French Federation. And thanks to it was shared, taken regarding the women part that we have improved, and with many, many things. Also, we must prioritize our mission with human and financial resources. And we must not base most of the things on top level tournaments, which our efforts are often going there at the moment. It's harming FIDE's main target, which is to increase the number of chess players in the world. Now, I would like to say that we have something which is called GSC, a global strategy. But do we really believe that there is a strategy there? I'm not sure, because somebody who has only the background of a grandmaster cannot know about what's happening in the real life as well. So I would like also to say a few words about Magnus. Magnus left the World Championship cycle, and it's a clear failure for FIDE. It means we have to question ourselves. And I propose, if we are elected, to convey immediately players, broadcasters, sponsors, streamers, to create a platform around this and to find a format that can suit the modern trend. We must end this inner circle governance that gives little results and go nowhere as a business model. That's the main things that we can say in 7 minutes. It was a bit shorter than the 10 minutes, but I believe that we can, with what we have done in the past, and I would like to thank very much Ian Wilkinson from Jamaica, who has worked a lot and who is accompanying me now on the ticket, because he will help, and it is building, uniting, and safeguarding. This is our motto, because we have to continue and not to be under potential sanctions in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bachar. Now, Mr. Arkady Dvorkovich.
Thank you, Yuri, Maria, Andrei, Bachar. Thanks a lot for having this opportunity to debate with you and discuss the development of chess in the future. I would like to appreciate the efforts of ACP in this regard and greet all chess lovers, all people interested in the development of chess today. Let me start with saying that I'm really proud to be FIDE president. It's a big honor. And FIDE has been a huge and a very important organization throughout its almost 100-year history. And I really hope, and I will do my utmost to make sure it will be one of the most important and most successful sport institutions globally in the future. I agree that the main target and the main indicator for our success is the number of people playing chess, watching chess, enjoying chess around the world in all its formats. And it's definitely one of the things we have been pursuing throughout this period. But also FIDE is responsible for professional chess, for running world championships around the world. And we have to fulfill this duty that chess community entrusted us to do. And finally, we have to play a role in the development of our societies and make sure that our world is better through chess. Of course, education is one of the main tools to do that. And again, that was mentioned, but it's not a simple thing. Just to state it, it's one of the most important, if not the most important programs we have been running already and we shall run in the future. So those three pillars are equally important for FIDE, and we should pursue these goals together. What we did already. We came to FIDE back in 2018 as a team, and Bachar is a part of this team throughout this period, and many other people. It's an international team of people with no connection to any single country. It is diversified throughout continents, and both in the management and in the council, there are people with various backgrounds, professionals, many different things, and we work together hard to reach a success. So what we did, we took back the rights for the World Championship cycle, the most important asset for FIDE as a sport institution. Before it was taken out from FIDE by private organization. By doing that, we increased the sponsorship, partnerships, and brought huge additional financing to FIDE, as well as media rights. And now we have media platforms and TV as our key partners. We started important social programs. Education is one of those, and now we estimate a number of kids playing chess around the world at 25 million. But also chess for refugees in Africa in particular, chess in slums in South America and Africa, chess for disabled people. This year we'll have the first ever chess Olympiad for disabled and for kids with autistic spectrum disorder. Chess in prisons, we had already 30 countries participating, and we'll have more than 60 countries this year. We improved FIDE financing. Now it's sustainable for the next 3 years, and we are making sure it is sustainable for the long-term perspective. We came to FIDE when the budget was around 2 million per annum. Now it's 6+, and our cash balances are $10+ million. Why? Because we worked successfully with partners all around the world, and not just, and it's a huge mistake to say that, just Russian or former Soviet Union. The tournaments we brought to the chess map of the world are in Poland, Hungary, Germany, United Arab Emirates, India, and many other countries throughout all continents. So now it's diversified, and we are looking forward to further diversification. So what our main targets and main goals are for the next 4 years? Number one, to continue developing professional chess at all levels, starting from top pro, world championships, and bringing top tournaments to countries in different continents, not just in Europe or Middle East, but all over the world. Also medium-level tournaments that ACP is actually targeting usually. And we started the support of open tournaments throughout the world last year, and we continue this year. So dozens of tournaments have been supported. We brought more countries to the World Cup. It was 103 in open, 64 in women. Now it's 206 and 103 open and women. So plus 50 in open, plus 40 federations in women, huge increase. We brought women prize funds from from around $1 million to $3 million for the cycle during this period of time. And this is a huge increase for the women chess. Media contracts total €6+ million currently. And this is improvement from almost zero at the moment we came to FIDE. And one of the goals, personal goals I have is to, if I will be elected, to leave FIDE in 4 years. It's just 2 terms with a sustainable budget, with a calendar of events for the next term at least. Now we have almost all events scheduled already for a 3-year period ahead. And to make sure that the team that works in FIDE is sustainable, diversified, professional, efficient, and transparent. And now the social role of chess. I have 40 seconds. Unfortunately for social, it's almost not enough. But what we would like to do is to double number of kids that play chess around the world in schools from 25 to 50 million. We want to have all women teams participating in the Olympiad in 4 years. We want to have international tournaments all around the world in each country during this 4-year period. And we know how to do this since we have a very professional team. Vishay Anand joining, JJ from Norway, Ruchen, Mair Mamedov, many other people who support us and who are in our team. We have the whole world in our team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arkady Dvorkovich. And now, Mr. Andrii Baryshpolets.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrii Baryshpolets. I'm PhD in Applied Economics. Currently, I work in PwC, which is one of the so-called Big 4 audit firms. I'm a chess international grandmaster. I'm from the chess world. First of all, I would like to thank ACP and thank you, Maria and Yuri, for organizing this discussion. I also do believe that this discussion is very much needed for the chess world, as we see that we have quite a few problems that we have to address, and they already piled up. First of all, let's pose a simple question. What is the image of FIDE? We all got used to seeing FIDE in permanent crisis. For many years, FIDE has been producing a lot of scandals, and the current administration is simply not an exception. Bachar already mentioned this in his speech that yesterday Magnus Carlsen announced his refusal to defend his world championship title. And the question, why did it happen? Obviously, FIDE failed to keep the benefits of defending the title higher than the costs of defending it. And generally speaking, FIDE just cannot keep up with the times. FIDE's previous administration of Kirsan left FIDE in a deep crisis, and now we are on the edge of even a bigger disaster because Arkady Dvorkovich is not only president of FIDE, he's also the long-time Kremlin politician, and he is under the threat of being sanctioned. So what we need to do, and firstly, what urgently needs to be done, and actually, I think that this should have been done many years ago. FIDE needs to finally become apolitical. FIDE has to be about chess, not about politics, corruption, or any opaque interest or anything else. So when people Google who runs FIDE, the FIDE president, who serves in the FIDE council, they should see and understand that FIDE is run by people who genuinely love chess. And that's why I'm bringing the team of professionals who also quite successful, and at the same time, they're genuinely chess lovers. They do not seek their personal and self-interest. So what is secondly I will do once I'm elected? I will definitely improve FIDE's governance. Currently, FIDE is highly dependent on one person, meaning that the president appoints unilaterally FIDE management, all the councillors and chairperson of non-elected commissions. At the same time, half of the FIDE council is also under the choice of FIDE president. In general, it just simply the organization resembles some kind of an autocracy. So this has to be changed right away. So, and I aim to make FIDE a truly democratic organization with broader involvement and visibility of member federations into all the FIDE affairs. So also with completely transparent process how FIDE works for the chess world and everything what happens. Also, what is important that under my leadership, FIDE Council should be appointing people based on transparent bids. So all the jobs in FIDE will be through an open application process, and people will be hired based on merits, not on personal alliance or personal friendship with the president. And as I mentioned in my presidential statement, reputability, professionalism, and love for chess, this is what FIDE needs. Thirdly, we definitely need to make FIDE fulfill its financial potential. So we just got used to seeing that FIDE financially is unsustainable and relies on the need of dubious sponsors. And this paradigm should shift completely. We, as a chess world and inside FIDE, we need to create value ourselves. Because what is a modern sport? It's coverage that involves masses and produces the real show. And today we see that millions of people play chess online, and online chess platforms are booming. But at the same time, we see that FIDE's budget is 5 times smaller than a single tournament in Dota. So we're clearly way far behind like any cyber sport. And why it happens? Just simply because FIDE is not evolving. So we do not use best practices from other sports, from modern technologies, from other industries, etc. And ultimately, what we see that how much interest do chess players have in FIDE? I would say not much. So because FIDE really functions as a private club, and under my leadership, of course, this has to be changed, and this will be changed. FIDE will be open to new ideas and new people. Since there will be zero tolerance for corruption, this will attract sponsors and at the same time will attract professionals from the chess world and outside of the chess world. The first point of my strategic vision is that we definitely need to have tournaments worldwide. Arkady actually just mentioned it, that the goal for his team to bring Olympiads, World Cups, candidates, World Championship matches to different continents. But it hasn't been done for the past years. Moreover, it hasn't been done for many, many years. And again, it's simply because of the current ties of the FIDE. So besides attracting interest and stimulating tourism in those hosting countries, why it's important to have big tournaments globally, especially in new traditionally non-chess countries, simply because it also spreads the interest around the world. It not only attracts interest within the hosting country and continent, but at the same time, really, it's the biggest promotion for chess globally. And to make it all happen, of course, I need a big team. And since I'm not a chess politician, I have begun doing this very recently. But at the same time, you already can see which team I already managed to build. It's a team of extremely successful, accomplished, and bright people. And you can clearly see that I'm bringing professionals. I'm not bringing people based on my personal preferences, relationships. And that's how I see FIDE. That's how FIDE should be working. It should be an organization of independent thinkers, people who can bring strategic vision. And moreover, I think that only those people, they can attract sponsorship. My advisory board, they manage billions of dollars altogether in various industries. And that's all happened just in several months of campaigning. Imagine how many people we can attract to FIDE in the upcoming days and upcoming months. So I'm extremely happy and honored to see people like Peter Heine Nielsen and my team, Sean Tan, Robert Katenda. They're all extremely successful, and I think that they should be the image of FIDE. That should be the future of FIDE. Because as we see, chess is booming, and there is no doubt that the future of chess is bright. So again, just to recap, since I have 20 seconds. So FIDE will be apolitical and transparent under my governance. Second one, it will be democratic governance of FIDE with broader visibility of all the FIDE affairs and what FIDE does. The third one will bring the best practices from the corporate world. And lastly, we will host tournaments worldwide. With that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrii.
Yes. Just before, I wish to thank you very much. You were really sharp on your 7 minutes. So thank you very much. I think I can leave the floor to Maria for our first question.
So our first question is going to be, let me remind you one more time that you're going to have only 2 minutes to answer the questions. And the question is, in your opinion, what is the best achievement of the current administration and its worst failure?
Is it me first, right, Yuri?
Yes, it's Arkady beginning, yes.
Yeah,
and then Andrii, and then Bachar.
Yeah, thank you. I truly believe that what we managed to achieve is delivering on our promises. We promised a few things back in 2018. I did it from the stage before the voting back in Batumi, and Bachar and a few other people were standing with me at those elections. We announced a few things, and in my introductory speech, I described what we did, and that is exactly what we promised back in 2018. And I think by delivering on promises, we made people believe that the change is possible. That it is not political. It doesn't depend on who voted for whom, since almost half of the people voted against our team back in 2018. But we worked with everyone, with every single national federation, whoever voted for other candidates. We made sure that we support chess everywhere in each single country. And I think bringing people together around creating new initiatives, projects, and delivering on those is the biggest achievement we have. And I'm very self-critical always. I have more ambitions always than the things I really do and that I achieve. I think we could do even more. And the biggest personal failure I feel is that I could do more by working even maybe not 16 but 20 hours a day and being more productive each hour and achieve even more, even despite the pandemic, despite all the difficulties, despite all the troubles and crises. We could do even more on each track, especially for poor countries, for countries who deserve better development of chess. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Andrii?
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So beginning with the biggest achievement of FIDE, I have to admit that yes, since 2018 when Arkady became the president, FIDE became more transparent and more open to relationship with federations. But at the same time, the biggest failure, and that's actually what really stops FIDE from progressing, is it's just simply obvious ties to politics. And it just be beyond being obvious. And when Arkady says that the team is international, while that's true, but at the same time we have office in Moscow. We've been seeing tons of Russian sponsors that Arkady brought, and then Arkady tries to portray himself as a savior by cutting the ties, and that's what FIDE tries to promote. But at the same time, we see that political dependence of FIDE, not only it hasn't go away anywhere after Kirsan Zalimzhinov era, but during current FIDE administration, it even became deeper. And that's clearly a biggest problem of FIDE. It's not only the problem of current administration, but it has been a problem for many, many years, for decades. And actually, I'm from the generation of players who learned how to play chess during this era. And I don't know, like how many generations of players have to grow up before we began thinking of FIDE as a truly international organization, an organization that is fair for all the member federations, that is not heavily inclined towards favoring only one country and one federation. Also, just to remind you that during those 4 years, also more than half of the major tournaments were hosted in Russia. Also, the upcoming Olympiad that is going to be in Chennai in India, and of course, I very much welcome the idea that we have finally we have Olympiad in Asia. And it's really will be interesting to see how it goes and how it's going to be in terms of promoting chess. But at the same time, let's not forget that it was supposed to be in Moscow, and definitely this has to be changed.
Thank you, Mr. Andrii, very much. Mr. Bachar?
Yes.
You want to answer to the question?
Am I heard or not? Because it's...
We seem to have connection issues with you because you are freezing.
With whom you have connection issues?
With you. You are
with me.
freezing. Yes.
Do you hear me now or not?
We do.
You do?
Let's try.
Well, I'm not
No.
heard, I think.
No, you keep freezing.
Do you, I switch my video or what?
Okay, switch your video off and see if it works. Bachar, we can't hear you. Okay, this is
disconnected, I guess.
Better?
kind of,
Is it possible to switch off and to come back?
we can hear you now, try.
Try it now.
No? No, if it is like that, it's not good.
Now we can hear you
Go,
very
we
well.
can hear you now.
Okay. Well, then to say the best thing was to end with Iluzhinov administration, which lasted too long, 23 years. And we were hoping that we would end what started in '82 with Campomanes being elected after Frederick Olafsson, and which was a Soviet influence. And then we thought that it would be a bit more open, but we can see that the Russian influence continued. And although things were done, I have to say, but the main problems that we have today, as you say, the failure is first of all Carlsen. And I didn't hear Arkady saying a word on that in his 7 minutes. And the second thing is about flexibility and reforms. Flexibility reforms were not done. And also the other thing to mention is, for instance, we have a person who is controlling FIDE through the management board, although he can say that there is a council and there is something, but it's a registering chamber. And as I said many times, people were asking us if we were in the kitchen there. I said, not, we are not even in the toilet being there, because it was totally captured by the management board, who is almost deciding everything, and then bringing it to the council. And sometime they are giving us time to decide, and sometime it must be done urgently for some reason. So again, there were some good things, but the way it is done, the governments, the flexibility, reforms are not done because it is totally controlled in an autocratic manner, even if it wants to show that this is open, that this is democratic, that it has a flavor from all continents. But the reality is one thing, and we are facing it, and I will stop now because my time is off.
Okay, may I just remember that you can take a few seconds off the 2 minutes. We will not interrupt you for at least 30 seconds. So do remember this. I really appreciate your...
I'm trying to stick to the rule. This is what we do all the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yuri, can you add 30 seconds to each of us, since I personally need to correct a couple of factual mistakes made by
I was about to say that since you can all have a slight, yes, I will give 30 seconds each. It's fine. Okay, good.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First, it is factually not true, actually completely wrong and false to say that most of the events were in Russia during this period of time. In fact, under our management and under the current FIDE Council Management Board, only one tournament officially bid and was hosted in Russia. It's a candidates tournament in Yekaterinburg. The Olympiad and the World Cup were supposed to be in Belarus, and this right was given by the previous General Assembly under previous administration, and we were not responsible for the bids. And Belarus cancelled both events, and we had just a very short period of time to find a substitute. And at that moment, Russia appeared to be the only choice. And the same is about sponsors. I said in 2018 we will start with Russian sponsors, but we'll diversify. And this is exactly what we did now. 100% of sponsors are not Russian.
Yeah, Yuri, may I reflect on that? Yes. May I
No, of
have
course,
something-
you all have a minute to counter. Of course, this was the rule, and I agree. We have to foster the debate a bit. So, Andrii, you're welcome to add.
Yes, since Arkady tries to correct us, he says factual mistakes. I think also it's quite easy. You don't need to persuade us, Arkady, in that anyone can just Google and see the tournaments. And by major tournaments, I mean candidates, I mean World Championship matches, Women World Championship matches, all the tournaments of the FIDE candidate cycle. And out of 20, back in March, I counted it. It's quite easy and simple. I can also put it in the chat in a second. 11 of them were hosted in Russia, 11 out of 20. And when you say that it's factually not correct, no, but I'm not imagining it. Like anyone can just Google.
No, it's arithmetic, and you're wrong in arithmetic. Sorry about it.
And well, I mean, we can argue about that, who is a better economist, Arkady, but we're not going to be doing it today because everything is actually quite clear to anyone. You cannot trick people by saying, oh, it's not right or it's not true. People who live in the chess world, they travel to those tournaments. And again, we can call them by names. Like every tournament from the Grand Prix in 2018, 2019, at least one of them were hosted in Russia. World Cup in Sochi and also World Blitz and Rapid Championships were hosted in Moscow and St. Petersburg. So I don't think we need to further discuss the factual things here.
Bachar.
Well, I think I said many things in my 2 minutes. You don't need to say more than what I said. I think there will be still some time for the next hour and a half, and let's not dry totally the whole area. So I appreciate those exchanges, and thank you for your generosity, Yuri, to give us 1 more minute. So you see, I'm using it because we have also to have some fun from time to time, and the sense of humor is necessary in all situations.
Okay, yes, I really enjoy the fact that this is a tough battle, but you are really trying to be nice to each other. So my question for you is, what is your stronghold? What is your flagship idea for your next 4 years? I think this is important. If you can just pick one thing that you really want to achieve in the next 4 years. And Andrii, the floor is yours.
Yes,
one thing, not two, one. Choose one.
Yes, I've elaborated on this during my introduction. I will pick the one thing, it's reputability of chess, reputability of FIDE, because we see that chess is going to be booming for sure. But at the same time, if we just keep dragging FIDE in past, and actually that's what we have been doing for many years. Whenever we have a choice between future and past, for some reason, we always choose past. FIDE being highly dependent on politics, FIDE being highly dependent on one country, and this tradition drags for many, many years. This will be altered for sure. The biggest strength of what I do is my team. I really bring people who are reputable, not only in the chess world, but also extremely successful and accomplished in various industries, in what they do. And I think that FIDE will ultimately become truly professional and transparent. Because this question of transparency, we've been hearing it a lot. It's been said by Nigel Short in 2018. It's been well said by Garry Kasparov in 2014. Bessel Koch was an extremely excellent candidate back in 2006. And we all talk about transparency. Arkady with his team, they also talk about transparency. But at the same time, again, FIDE functions as a private club. And this has to be changed. And that's the main strength that I will bring to FIDE. FIDE ultimately will be serving chess world, will be serving chess lovers, will be also serving FIDE member federations, not the private interests of people who isn't FIDE and who is personally aligned to Arkady. What we see currently in FIDE, that it's just a club of friends. Even now, during the electoral campaign, we see that FIDE management simply campaigns on Arkady's behalf. That's not right. In FIDE, we should establish a corporate governance in which president reports to the public, president reports to the chess world, and bears the ultimate responsibility. And FIDE management is independent. FIDE management reports to the FIDE council. And as I said, FIDE will be fully transparent. And I will make sure to do this. And also you can see this, that I'm bringing the team of people who are professionals, not my personal friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrii. So Bachar, okay, it looks like you're freezing again. So maybe you can turn your, no, let's see. Okay, Your turn. No.
Yeah, I guess.
Can you turn your video off, please?
Hello? Problems.
Can you turn your video off? It seems like you are improving your chances. Want to try? I mean, we have connection problems with you.
When I'm talking, I'm turning my video. Why not the others? Or is it me? Maybe I'm the problem.
No, you are the problem, apparently. Yes.
I will turn it off. Okay. Okay. No problems. So, and now?
No, Bachar, you're not a problem. Come on, your asset.
No, what I meant is you are the problem. The problem lies with your connection. That's what I meant. Apologies.
English is excellent, Yuri. So I know you won't make any mistake in wording. So let's say I just mentioned one very important thing. I think you cannot play chess, cannot bring chess without chess boards, chess sets, and this is very important. I was talking in the preliminary 7 minutes about having a concrete project, not only wishful thinking, what I will do, what have done the others. They have an incredible track record. They will do the same. I have heard this because I was in investment. So I know exactly how the things are presented in order to convince people. But you have to take specific actions. Specific actions, it's as simple as that. Let's try to get 1 million board chess sets distributed over the next 4 years. It's a budget, but with a transparent organization, with a new model, with a way of conducting things where the management board is not everything and not a club. I like this idea that it is becoming a club. And I think if we can do that, if we can be opened, then we will have more people, because I am convinced as well that chess will boom. But again, we must come to our main goal, the main goal, and I didn't hear it too much from the two other candidates. It is to bring more chess players. Chess tournaments of the top are important, but it's not everything. If you don't bring the people to play chess, if you don't teach them, if you don't give them the material, then they won't be able to do it. So let's prioritize on some specific things that we can do, that we are able to do through our organization. And of course, all the good ideas, we will work with it. And again, to say it, our opposition today regarding what's happening is mainly because having a Russian candidate at the moment is a very complicated for our organization.
Okay, let's go ahead. Arkady.
Yes, thank you. You can see from the answers how difficult it is to choose just one. Of course, those things that my colleagues have mentioned are things to do anyway, whoever the president is. Transparency, we need a clear plan, how to improve it. And we did a lot, I think, during the last 4 years. We have to do other things. We have our homework to do on that. And yes, we are bringing our teams, but of course we should try to choose people on competitive basis based on the professional qualities, and that's what we will be doing anyway. And chess sets, yes, very important. 1 million is about $4 million. Good procurement, good logistics is needed. We can do it. But choosing out of the whole manifesto, out of the whole set of things that I already described in my 7-minute speech, I would choose just one: ladies. Ladies, women in chess. I think that's the one that is not appreciated sufficiently. It is not just about saying that. It's a very clear thing to make sure that all countries have teams. We need to train young girls, train ladies, show them the perspective, show that it's not just about playing chess, but also career opportunities with arbiters, organizers, chess managers. We started doing those things. We allocated funds We brought the best coaches, training camps have been conducted. So we started this process, but it's the roadmap that we have to follow during the next 4 years to achieve this goal. So ladies in chess, that's my one that I would choose today.
Thank you for sparing more than 20 seconds. Maria, your floor, I guess.
Yeah, so my next question is going to be, I guess, the question that disturbs most of the female chess players. What is your roadmap to gender equality? Mr. Arkady Dvorkovich?
So I can continue with the same topic, right? That's good.
It looks like.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, again, we started with the picture where the gap between the men or open tournaments, how we call it, and women tournaments, women chess was huge. It's still very big, but it is not as big as it was back in 2018. I already mentioned increasing prize funds in the Women World Championship cycle. We have been also supporting special prizes for open tournaments for women. Besides veterans, besides young people, we supported specifically women in the open tournaments. I mentioned camps, I mentioned coaching, I mentioned career opportunities, and we started a series of seminars for women arbiters, organizers, women coaches, and managers throughout the world for free, based on the FIDE funding. And we already sensed interest. And in each federation, we insist that it should be a responsible person, whether it's women, preferably, or a man who is focusing on just women chess. That's really important. This year is the year of women in chess, and we will provide special awards to the best ladies in chess in Chennai. We'll have a special Queen's Pavilion in Chennai. So those are things that we started doing, and we have a clear roadmap how to continue doing those things. We have more ladies in the FIDE Council, in the management board, including Dana Redin-Ozela, who is managing those projects. We have stronger women commission now, and we urge each continent, each federation to develop specific plans that we will support from the side of FIDE, and we will connect with international institutions, organizations, not chess organizations, but others, to be involved in the development of women chess in FIDE. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrii Baryshpolets, you?
Yes, thank you, Maria. First of all, I would like to mention that women chess is very close to my heart, simply because my wife is a women international master. Peter Heine Nielsen, who runs as my deputy president, he is married to Victoria Chmilite, who is a grandmaster. And definitely for us, it is not only important in words, but we do feel the problems, we do see them. I've seen my wife playing in tournaments for many years, and I do see the problems that evolves around women in chess. Just to get a flashback, let's not forget that Kouatly, who is the world champion back in the times, she decided, as well as Magnus Carlsen, not to defend her title. And also why it happened, because FIDE again failed to breed interest for the world champions. I do appreciate what Arkady says regarding projects for women chess. That's really great, and that's really the right road and way to go. And when I become the FIDE president, definitely we will keep all our efforts to promote women chess. But at the same time, I would like to stress a couple more points that Arkady didn't mention. First of all, I do believe, and I also mentioned this in my presidential statement, that we need to focus on amateur chess. And in this regard, it is important to put prizes and make it as a requirement for the organizers of open tournaments to have increased prizes for women. Also, what FIDE can do in this regard to take a more active part in that, not only to push the organizers, but at the same time to help them financially to bring more prizes and more money for women prizes. At the same time, also it's important to mention that we need to bring more girls to chess. One of the ideas that I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can, and we will do this in FIDE. FIDE will be sponsoring scholarships for youth champions. This way, parents will be bringing their kids to chess. And at the same time, it's important that girls would have big opportunities in lives by becoming women champions. Also, I would like just to briefly mention that on our team, we have Robert Katende, who is extremely successful in changing lives. And his best student, Fiona Mutesi, became a worldwide phenomena. And thanks to Disney movie, she's known all around the world for her passion of chess and what chess can really bring to life of young girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrii.
Sorry, just one short question to Andrii. Andrii, will you support him just instead of just 1 year of women in chess, well, 4 years of women in chess, and to follow the roadmap that will include both the ideas I mentioned and you mentioned? I think we can put those together.
Yes, I think also in general, I agree to that, and I also think that all good initiatives, they should be enriched. And what has been done good, it should be continued as a tradition. But again, FIDE has so many problems that has to be cured. And one of the problems, as we already mentioned, and I'm not going to be repeating myself, we probably already know it already. Thank you.
Very much, Mr.
Bachar.
Kouatly.
I like, to thank both of you for talking so well about this. But I remember I would like to thank here.
Bachar, we still
French
have
Federation,
a problem.
and that was taken by many federations and Europe. I would like to thank.
We
Now,
cannot
do you hear me?
hear you. No, again, we have the problem. So I
Do you
would
hear me?
have.
Do you hear me?
I would kindly ask you to turn your video off. Yes, and let's try again. You get 2 minutes again.
Do you hear me?
Now, yes.
Okay. So better that nobody sees me. It's better, much better. I can understand that. So, okay, first of all, I would like, yes, to thank, as I said, the fact that the women in chess subject is becoming very important. And I would like to thank here personally Mathilde Choisy, who has worked on the plan, the 56 pages plan that we has made for the French Federation 2019-2024, and that we shared with everybody. As we said, regarding the platform, when you have good ideas, good initiatives, things, it should be shared with others. That's what I was asking for. The main problem is not the money. Sorry to say it that way. Main problem is sexism in chess. And if we can fight that, because I want to reply to Maria regarding this. It's sexism, it's access to chess for girls. It's the fact also education. It's about education as everywhere. If you change the mentalities, then the things will change. For instance, in the United States, I know that some clubs are opening specifically for women because when they are coming, when they are the man, they are not so happy with that. So they are opening some special sessions. So we should learn from practices in other places. So also what we need is not coaches, chess coaches in the meaning of chess coaches. It's people who are teaching you how to move the pieces, and to have women doing that, going to the schools, going to the basic level, to bring as many girls as possible who will start playing chess. And this is not really done at the moment. It's, as Andrei said, it's a club of men, and maybe more women would be there, it would be much better. Because half of us, even a bit more than half of us, is composed of women, and men are directing. And I think this is also something that we have to change if we want to bring women to chess, and that they will feel comfortable with us when they are talking about this subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bachar, very much.
Yeah, if I may just quickly clarify what Bachar said. I meant, and that's I believe what I said, that it's a club not of a man, but club of just a private club that is aligned by interest, not referring to gender equality or disequality. So just to clarify this.
Thank you very much.
Okay, since we are
Chess.
hosting, yes, we are.
Chess and chess in general is not only high-level, professional-level chess. If we don't get out from this paradigm, we will remain a small international federation with almost nobody practicing it compared to what is happening in other sports. If we have to change the mentalities, that's what I was trying to say with women's chess, but it's about everything. If we keep on only, let's say, high-level tournaments, professional chess, it's important, of course, but it's a change of the mentality and to go.
Point made.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, it's okay. I think you will welcome my next question, Bachar. ACP has a concept for including open tournaments in the World Championship cycle, meaning that when a tournament decides to apply for the status, it would become a part of the World Championship cycle by assigning points to the winners, and there will be a list of these players because you get points from these tournaments. So there, in the end, the top 20 players that would qualify, 15 for the Grand Swiss and 5 to the World Cup. This is our concept for enlarging the pyramid and making sure that every player, even amateurs, have a shot at becoming world champion. My direct question to you is, if elected president, would you support this? And I have to go back because we skipped one round. So it's Bachar starting now. Would you support ACP's concept for including open tournaments in the World Championship cycle? Next is Arkady and then Andrii.
Well, thank you, Yuri, for giving me the floor again. To say one thing, I want to come back on what I said during my 7-minute speech. I think we need first a platform with the players, the broadcasters, the sponsors, the streamers, not to remain in our inner circle or private club, as Andrii is saying before. Because I would agree on that, but I don't want to be the only one.
You are breaking again.
Mr. Bachar, of course, we want to see you.
And we have the setback. Sorry, do you hear me or not?
Yeah, now
yes, we can hear you.
I don't want to be the guy who decides alone to be the president. He knows that this is good or bad, because this is just terrible way of doing things. And I don't believe the people here are like that. I mean, I'm not just saying this with somebody. I'm just saying this is not the right way. And I believe it has to be, we have to make a total shift of all what happened for the World Championship. Yesterday, Magnus Carlsen left the World Championship. Yesterday. And we are talking about something. If the people agree for that, okay, I am not against or for, but we have to, first of all, put on the table the new paradigm to try to bring chess further. We have streamers like Nakamura who have over 1 million people following him. We have streamers with 1,100 rating that have more viewers than any of our championship or what we are doing in FIDE. Are we blind not to look at that and not to talk about it? So again, I would like that ACP will be doing this, but I believe it is not the president alone who should do that. We need a table, a round table with all the actors who would join to see what could be done in the next FIDE. Thank you.
So Bachar, for me to understand, you would support if this board supports, right?
Yes, yes. If the board
you have to give a yes or a no answer. You gave a different answer. You want a board and the board to decide.
But again,
clear and easy.
It's a platform that has
yes,
to do
platform. Yes, board. Platform. Yes.
do it with the board. It's again an inner circle, a private.
No. If this panel, this board, this platform, you call it. Apologies again. Let's call it platform. Arkady, your turn.
Thank you, Yuri. Well, first of all, it's not a secret that we discussed this idea before, and I think we are aligned in understanding that the involvement of more tournaments in the cycle is needed, including primarily open tournaments to make it as democratic as possible. This is the way we have been thinking about that when we brought Grand Swiss on board. And Grand Swiss is the new element of the World Championship cycle now, not just for open competition, but for women as well. We have Grand Swiss for women, so it's now it's almost standard for both tracks. It's an open tournament, and more players have been involved already, and you could see how competitive it is and how exciting it was already. So the whole idea, I think, is in the completely in the right direction. The devil is, of course, in details, and we started discussing those details. There are 2 or 3 important things. One is preserving quality, so making sure that those tournaments are of quality above a certain standard, above a certain benchmark in all respects, since there are many good tournaments around the world, and we support those tournaments, but there are many issues also involved in each tournament, and many claims that those things have been done in the wrong way. Those things are real issues, players' rights or players' conditions are not good enough, etc., etc. So if something is involved in the World Championship cycle, this should be above a certain benchmark. The second thing, of course, is the system, how we count points and how qualification system works. For Grand Swiss, qualification for Grand Swiss, I think certainly can work. For World Cup, in this case, we take some of the spots out of the federations or continents. So we need to balance it somehow, but I'm sure that there is a way how to do it. So again, ideologically, full support, details has to be thought over. Thank you.
Thank you. This poses a challenge to the ACP to find the solutions, and we would be happy to sit down with the new administration to talk to the devil. Andrii, it's your turn.
Yes, thank you, Yuri. Just beginning with direct answer to your question, yes, I do believe it's a great initiative. We do need to have such kind of format to encourage more people to fight for the World Championship title. But here, I would also mention that indeed we need certain criteria that FIDE needs to ensure that they're fulfilled. Not only we need the benchmarks, but also it is important that we have such tournaments worldwide, that everybody in the world have the equal access to be qualified. It's important because one of the main ideas of the World Championship cycle is to keep its sportsmanship. Not to break the rules during the cycle, as we've seen so many times. Also to have a clearly established goals, ideas, how this should be fulfilled, and we need to stick to them. So this has to be a strategic decision. When we talk about this ACP initiative, we need to think strategically for 5 years, 10 years, how it's going to be happening, not only in the next cycle, but what we're going to be doing with it in many years to come. Also, we need to ensure that we encourage creation of new tournaments. Because what Arkady mentioned with Grand Swiss is just merely just giving up a spot of the candidates to already exist in tournament. On top of that, we need, as FIDE needs to ensure that we encourage organizers to bring new tournaments. Also in this regard, Arkady didn't mention it, and it's very frustrating because just a few months ago, FIDE deliberately gave out 2 spots to Grand Chess Tour. And I do appreciate what Grand Chess Tour does. It's an extremely great event in terms of popularizing chess, in terms of promotion. But at the same time, it's question to FIDE, what actually happened. We just see the news from FIDE that FIDE gave up 2 spots. We don't know what the contract is, who paid what and for. Those things, they should be avoided. FIDE also needs to protect the World Championship cycle as one of its biggest assets. And in terms of cooperating with tournaments, yes. In terms of cooperating with ACP on promoting new tournaments, yes. But at the same time, we need to be transparent and adequate in what we do and report to the chess world why we do this and how it should be working. Thank you.
Okay, I will just take 30 seconds myself to answer.
Just factual again. The contract with Grand Chess Tour is not signed, and I think the new council will discuss it and take a decision. So yes, we discussed this idea at the council meeting. It was approved, but there is no contract, so nothing was given up yet. So just for the sake of clarity, but otherwise, I agree we should report on that to the world.
Yes, and I would just quickly reflect on that, Yuri, if I may, just quickly on that. So it's actually great news, but at the same time, why it was not posted on the FIDE website? It was announced that FIDE already made a decision. So this should be avoided. So we are not playing in publicity and trying to show that we're doing something great or not. If it has not been signed by FIDE Council, then it should not be announced in the way it was.
No, there is, sorry, just clarification. It was approved and the instruction was to prepare it for signing. And before signing, the whole contract should go again to the FIDE Council to be finally approved. That's the system, how it works. So the FIDE Council decides in the end. So it was announced that the FIDE Council approved cooperation with Grand Chess Tour, but there was no, just clarification. It's nothing against you, it's just clarification.
Okay, it was just my turn to answer a few of your questions. Quality is preserved through bundling. Why? Because there would be a final ranking, and you cannot win this ranking by participating in smaller minor tournaments, because the bigger tournaments will give more points. The second thing is the tournaments have to pay extra to participate in the cycle. So the organizers are selected by the fact that they want to attract better players, and they are ready to pay a little more to be a part of this cycle. I share the concern about the World Cup. It's clear that this is where a lot of work has to be done, but I also welcome the openness to the Grand Swiss. If the World Cup is an initial problem, let's concentrate on what we can do first and sort out the more difficult things while in progress. As Andrii said, we have to have a five-year plan, a 10-year plan, and it's a nice idea to start and to preserve quality and to send out a message that everyone is part of the World's Championship cycle. I think as ACP, we value this very much, and I valued your answers. So thank you for answering the question. Maria, do you have a question for our guests?
Yes. So I know that sometimes you're waiting for a question to sound and it never sounds. So I want to give you an opportunity to ask yourself a question that you would like to hear from us, that you didn't, and to answer to it. Andrii, Bachar, and Arkady. So, Mr. Andrii, what is the one question you would like to restate?
Yes, thank you, Maria. I would ask the question, like, why I'm doing this. And partially I answered to this in my commentaries, because also I mentioned this in my introduction already, that indeed chess players, and I myself, I'm not an exception, and I have to admit that really I don't have much interest in being FIDE, but it was before I see how deeply we're in this trouble, how deeply we're in this crisis. FIDE is just incapable of changing itself. And then I see definitely, I just cannot stand it. I cannot sit aside and say like, hey, it's the problem that it doesn't concern me. Because clearly, and that's something that we cannot avoid discussing, yes, after this blatant aggression of Russia, indeed, it's extremely outrageous for me to see this. But at the same time, it's a double attack on me, because I see that Kremlin still in full control of FIDE. And then I see that inside FIDE, we just don't have even discussions. Like everybody inside FIDE management tries to pretend that it's normal, nothing happening, that Arkady, being a long time Kremlin politician, is still sitting there, it's okay. For me, it's not okay. For me, it's not acceptable. And I admit that, yes, I began doing it because I want to feed the change. I really wanted to see someone who will be here and will be kind of talking about chess and finally make this decision to make FIDE apolitical. But it just happened to be that nobody stand up. I decided I definitely need to do it myself. And now you see that in just a few months, as I mentioned, I already built up an extremely strong team. And you may wonder how I did this, how it's possible. Maybe someone is hiding behind my back. No, it's just simply because of my values, because what I'm trying to convey to people. We need FIDE that is open and transparent for everyone. We need FIDE that serves chess and chess players, that we should not talk about politics. We should not even think that why we have another tournament in one country. No, we need to think like when gonna be the tournaments in Africa, in Americas, in Asia, not only in Europe. So that's the question that I would ask myself, and I sincerely answer to that in all my thoughts in my interviews. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrii. Mr. Bachar?
Oh, what I'm supposed to do? Because I heard something at the beginning that we would ask each other questions, and now it's different.
No, this is a different question. This is ask yourself a question and give yourself an answer. What is, or as Maria very elegantly put, why don't you ask yourself the question you would like someone to ask you?
Well, yeah, this is an introspective exercise. Okay, I understand. So yeah, the question I would like to be asked is how, because for me it is a very important thing, how do we try to reach high figures of people playing chess, and that how FIDE can help with that, because this is the main question in my opinion. Otherwise, FIDE has no value. When you don't have a world championship and you don't have an ELO rating,
Now we are breaking again.
so
Bachar?
hello, do you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes, now we can. Let's resume.
When was it stopped? Please let me know. When was it stopped?
You were just starting. You said that this is the most important question.
Just starting.
No, you said that how to increase the number.
Did not, yeah.
Started talking about ratings.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a rating, you don't, that's more or less when you broke off.
FIDE without the World Championship is an organization that has no existence. This is the reality as well. So one.
Okay, yes, we have to.
Sorry. So if it's interrupted all the time, is it interrupted still?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to try with my telephone, maybe? I will try with my telephone. If you don't mind, I will switch off and come back with my telephone, if it is okay for you.
Okay, in the meantime, Arkady will answer.
Thank you, thank you. I will switch off and we'll come back with my phone. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to see you again. Well, I was thinking about answering to the question Bachar asked me regarding Magnus, but maybe will be another chance during the next 15 minutes. So I better will answer the same question that Andrii asked himself. Why am I doing this again? Coming to the same water after 4 years of really hard work, where every day I, of course, enjoyed and loved spending 16-20 hours a day thinking about chess, doing things for chess all around the world, responding to initiatives, questions, issues from each individual national federation, resolving issues of individual players many times. It is not about the thing Andrii said that the president does everything. Actually, each person in our team does same things. The chess world is much bigger than our capacity to serve each and everyone, and of course there should be a bigger role of national federations and continents and other bodies in doing those things. But the reality is that we are doing this from the very top level, and I personally do this from the very top level every day, every second, every minute, and I love that since my father did that throughout his life. I remember when I was a kid, when I was just 3, 4 year, 5 year old, I remember like daily, hourly job he was doing, answering the traditional phone. No smartphones were available, no internet, and I'm doing the same every day as my father did, and I love it. I want to continue doing this with bigger and bigger team, with many people who love chess, since I would like to serve chess world, serve chess players, and I'm far from Kremlin. I'm far from anything that Andrii is trying to pretend me like I'm connected, I'm ruled by somebody. I'm on my own with my team, with our team, with a huge team of people who love chess and work together. Thank you.
Bachar, for as much as I would like you to give an opportunity to answer, I am very afraid that the most important part of today would be lost. I will give you the floor again.
Okay, can I start again on this? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, as I said, the question, do you hear me or not?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. As I said, the most important thing for us is in FIDE is to recruit, to bring more people, to educate more people who will learn chess. That will bring the players, I mean, in the future, and not to keep only on a few things that we have done. This is very, very important for FIDE for the future. We are in modern times, and our functioning is still rather old time. And this is something that has to be changed. Otherwise, as I said before, the world champion yesterday declared that he doesn't want anymore to defend his title. And that's terrible. Let's say that tomorrow, for instance, there is another organization that will handle the ELO rating. And there are some guys who are doing it, and it will be much more sexy and much more interesting for people to go for it. Then FIDE has lost the two main assets it has to be this organization. If we don't think about this really daily, not just sleeping, saying things, well, I'm saying sleeping, I'm a little bit, it's maybe a bit tough, but doing the things, not really thinking strategically and only moving tactically as the things are done, always under emergency, under hurry, you must hurry up, you must do things. This is what I really dislike. There is not a long strategic plan at the moment to how we bring million and million of people who will come and will be recruited with all the players that we see in the world. FIDE is becoming really too little compared to the chess activity in the world.
Okay, we will close hopefully with a bang. And I will ask each and every one of you to, you have two questions. You can choose whom to direct them, but the answers will now have to be 90 seconds only because we lost a little time, and at 8 we have to close. So Bachar, you can start. 2 questions to any person. You can ask 1 to Andrii, 1 to Arkady. You can ask 2 to Andrii, 2 to Arkady. Whatever you feel like, go with your 2 questions, and they will have 90 seconds each to answer.
Okay, I will ask a first short question to Arkady. Will you resign if you are sanctioned?
Second question?
Yes, I will.
Okay, that was easy.
Okay, then if you will resign, why don't you tell the federations, which are mainly multi-sport federations in the world, that with IOC recognizing FIDE in '99, many federations are benefiting from grants, subsidies coming from the governments or organizations whenever they are playing the Southeast Asian Games or African Games or American Games, because we are, let's say, under the umbrella of the multi-sport organization being with IOC. Being sanctioned, you said that you would resign. And when you say that you would resign, the harm will be done. That's why when we are
no, but is this a question?
Yeah, it's, of course it's a question.
Can I have
because,
the question? Bashar,
but the question
we
is,
need a question.
because you see, when we are saying that we need to build, to unite and safeguard, we are not doing it by heart. The reputation is bad, and how Arkady,
Bashar, I need a question.
How Arkady can save the reputation of the organization?
I'm sorry, I have to take the floor away from you. If you don't pose a question, I have to take the floor. It's not
yes, let me
comment,
just just 30 seconds, not answering the question since there was no question, but just remarks on that. First of all, the International Olympic Committee that recognizes FIDE as an international sport institution made it clear that elected presidents represent all federations that elect them, not countries that they originated from. So now being elected, I represent all federations, not Russia. Of course, I'm a Russian citizen, but I represent everyone as FIDE president, and I hope to continue doing the same. Also, I believe that there is no real reason to sanction me, and I truly believe that our team is doing a great job. But if sanctions by some reason will appear, yes, I will resign. But this will be a chance to all people who believe they can serve for FIDE. Those people who support me now, who didn't run because they support me and our team, that will be a chance for them to run for FIDE presidency, along with you probably again. But will be more people competing, and the best will be selected. And Vishay Anand will substitute for the time being the great personality and great leader for chess. But again, I think sanctions are unlikely, and we will serve for a long period of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Arkady, take your time to rest now and think of your two questions, and the floor is yours. You can ask two questions to whoever you feel.
Yes.
Or one and one.
Yes, thank you. Well, first question is to Andrii. You said that chess should be out of politics, and you start your whole campaign with saying that one or two countries, I don't know, should be out of chess, which is highly political. Of course, we took the decision, we, the FIDE Council, including myself, that Russia and Belarus are now not participating. But I see the contradiction here in what you're trying to state. And the same thing about the team. You said you have already the team. You put it together, good people, bright people based on their CVs. I agree with that. But then you say that you are going to select people competitively. So which is right? Do you have a team, or you will make sure that people are selected on a competitive basis, and the decisions are taken by the council that will be elected by the General Assembly? Actually, the president doesn't have the right to nominate. Okay. It presents people to be approved by the General Assembly. So everyone should be a question. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So, yes. Do you see the contradictions here? How can we resolve those contradictions? Thank you.
Yes, first of all, let me just make a remark on the FIDE Council decisions that you just mentioned. In fact, Russian and Belarusian chess players, they are allowed to play under Russian Chess Federation flag and the Russian Chess Federation flag accordingly. and it's very different from what you're saying.
Sorry, FIDE flag. Sorry, it's mistake. FIDE flag.
Well,
FIDE
okay,
flag.
okay, Arkady, we're not going to be debating on this. People can check this.
Debate. You can play under FIDE flag, not under the Russian Chess Federation flag. That's just fact. It's not about
well,
debate.
it's not a fact, Arkady. For many months, they've been playing under Russian Chess Federation flag in the board of trustees, of which we have Shoigu, Peskov, yourself. But again, let me just answer your question. What you said on contradiction, there is no contradiction. Under FIDE charter, I, as the elected president, will be in need to nominate 3 vice presidents, treasurer and secretary of FIDE council. There is no contradiction in that. On the FIDE management board, as I said, and I commit to that the positions will be on open bid. In FIDE council are unpaid positions, and it's very different from when appointing people on the paid position. Yes, sorry, you said 3 minutes for both questions.
Yes.
I guess.
No, 3 minutes total. And
Okay.
I'll give you 20 seconds extra because of this. Yes, because he asked 2 questions. They're strictly intertwined. So
Yeah,
you
thank
get
you.
a total 3 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I think I already answered Arkady's question, and since we're lack of time, I've had quite a few questions to Arkady, but I think it's really important to ask the most important one. And we already see that Arkady is apparently not ashamed of putting FIDE in jeopardy, because clearly his image and his background, his political career in Kremlin, that's the biggest problem of FIDE. That's the biggest threat to FIDE in future.
Again, may I just have a question, not comments? It's a question for.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Yuri.
Thank
and
you.
the question, let me just bring it up. Yesterday was the International Chess Day, as we know, and of course it's a big holiday for all of us, all the chess lovers. But at the same time, probably you're already aware that the 13-year-old son of women international master, Victoria Kouatly, was killed in Kharkiv by Russian missiles. And I'm sorry, but I cannot avoid saying this, because here we're talking not about politics, it's far beyond politics. It's about life and killing people. And Arkady, who's been in Kremlin for many years, and he has been ahead of Skolkovo for many years, and he admitted it himself in his interview in 2020 that he still has ties to it, he still manages the project. Skolkovo is highly involved with military projects. So my question to Arkady is very simple. Arkady, aren't you ashamed of what you do to the chess world? Aren't you ashamed of presenting yourself and saying that you care about chess? And also, do you feel any responsibility what Kremlin does and what you've been attached to?
Okay, so summarizing, it's aren't you ashamed? And the second one is
very simple. Aren't you ashamed of this? And don't you feel any responsibility for the chess world and also for the world on the bigger scale? Don't you feel the responsibility of what you have done in the past?
Okay, so Arkady, you get 3 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, my deepest condolences to the family of a young boy who had been killed. And it's a big tragedy when every life is being taken. Any war is terrible, and I made my position very clear against the war and any wars. And the most important value in our lives is peace. That's clear, and that's how I have been raised since my childhood. I'm not ashamed of what I have been doing throughout many years, serving people around me in Russia and people in the whole world by making the whole world better. I did my best as an economist, as professional, as civil servant, and now as a public international servant. I'm not ashamed of that. I did a lot. I didn't do enough. And I'm responsible for not doing enough to make the world better than it is. So it's a shame that all of us could not do it better than it is. And I feel responsibility about that. We all have to do better. Thank you.
Wow, that was fast. Okay, gentlemen, we have just the time to say goodbye. Maria, do we have any interesting questions from the public?
Oh, I guess we mostly ask the same questions. Yeah.
And that Oh, so they've been asking the same questions we have been asking.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly, yes. Okay, so this means
But can we know the questions, please?
Of course, I can go through all of them if you want to, if you have time for it.
No, maybe you can do like a printout of whatever the file with questions that you can send to us.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Mhm.
I guess we just have time to say goodbye for now and wish good luck at the FIDE Congress in Chennai, India.
Yes, and I wish to thank you all for accepting our invitation to come up to share. And this was open discussion. The candidates have come here and they all had the same opportunities. And I think the public can now form its own opinion on the questions, on the answers, on their ideals, on their values. And really thank you all for coming and for sharing your concepts and ideas for the future of chess. Have a great time and may peace shine on us all as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Andrei. Thank you, Arkady.
Yes, thank you, Yuri, Maria, and Bachar. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And see you in Chennai.
Indeed.
And we're off. Спасибо вам тоже. Удачи.